I'm Rick Henson with this afternoon news update for Friday, May 27th. The National Weather Service in Valley, Nebraska says there is a moderate severity for flooding on the Missouri River affecting Mills County, Iowa. At 9 o'clock this morning, the river was at 30.2 feet. Flood stage is 26 feet. Minor flooding is occurring and moderate flooding is forecast. The river will continue to rise to near 31 feet by midnight Saturday, and additional rises may be possible after that. A flood warning continues as well for the Missouri River affecting Fremont County in Iowa. At 10 a.m., the river was at 22 feet. Flood stage is 18 feet. Minor flooding is occurring and forecast to continue with a rise to near 23 feet by early Saturday before the river level begins to fall. And a flood advisory continues until Saturday evening for the Missouri River, affecting Harrison and Pottawatomie counties. At 10 a.m. today, the river was at 26.9 feet. Flood stage is 29 feet. The forecast is for the river to remain near 26.9 feet through today and slowly fall to 26.2 feet by midnight tonight. Officials in Nebraska and Iowa are watching the Missouri River closely because water levels are high and more water is being released from reservoirs upstream. The Missouri River has already spilled over its banks in several low-lying areas. That means several thousand acres of farmland in southeast Nebraska has flooded, and water is encroaching on cities such as Fort Calhoun, Nebraska, and Sloan in Iowa. In Sloan, residents built a temporary levee out of sandbags to help protect a dozen homes near the Missouri River. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers predicts that 2011 could be one of the wettest years on record in the Missouri River Basin. Officials are predicting record river flows and large releases from reservoirs because of steady spring rain and above-normal snowpack. A former western Iowa resident now living in Joplin, Missouri, is asking people to pray for the victims of last Sunday's tornado. The EF5 twister left a 6-mile path of destruction and has now claimed 132 lives. Jeff Weir, a former resident of Westphalia and a Harlan High School graduate, has been living in Joplin for 4 years. Weir, his wife, and 3 sons all survived the storm. However, the family knew the middle son, Josh, was located in the path of the tornado. Weir says they didn't hear from him for 5 hours after the storm passed.
Turns out he came across one of the buildings that was flattened, and he saw 2 girls trying to crawl out from underneath of it, so he stopped and he helped them, and he drove them to the emergency room. And then he turned right around, went back, and he just was shuttling people as he found them and back and forth.
Weir's entire family was eventually reunited on the north side of town at their home, which was not damaged. The tornado ripped through the middle section of Joplin, and Weir says if people are unable to help Joplin residents with cash donations, they can still help with their prayers.
To me, personally, that's the most important thing is the prayers. I know there's so many people want to do things, but they don't know what they can do, and I just tell them, pray for us. I mean, pray for all those that were victims and that are going to be going through this for a long time.
Officials announced this morning that 156 people remained unaccounted for 5 days after the deadliest tornado in the U.S. in 64 years. In other news, the Adams County Sheriff's Office reported this morning a Corning man was arrested early today on a simple assault charge. 37-year-old Aaron Anderson was taken into custody just after 1 a.m. after deputies were called to Lake Binder on the edge of town. Officials say a female camping at the lake was allegedly assaulted by Anderson, who was arrested and brought to the Adams County Jail, where he was held pending an appearance before the magistrate. And authorities in Adams County are investigating an incident which occurred at around 8:30 p.m. Thursday at the KCC Motel on the southeast side of Corning. Officials say 2 men were allegedly fighting. One of the men gave deputies several different names and date of birth. He was being held in the Adams County Jail while authorities were trying to determine his true identity. Atlantic Police report today the arrest on Thursday of 21-year-old Vicente Vasquez of Marney. Vasquez was taken into custody on a Cass County Sheriff's warrant for violation of his probation. He was booked into the Cass County Jail. For more news throughout the day and throughout the weekend, follow us on KJAN.com. Click on the News tab, or you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook. I'm Rick Hansen reporting.